Big A, I owe a total of $32,000 in taxes. What the fuck is this nation coming to? Bro, you haven't told me your income. You could be Jeff fucking Bezos. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean with this nation coming to? Our taxes aren't even too high, bro. Get over it. The only problem with our tax system is that people cheated. If everybody had the same and we had a simple tax code, paying taxes is not a necessarily bad thing. The problem is that some people don't. And so therefore, if you are an honorable person who pays your taxes, you are falling behind. That's the annoying part. If I'm paying my taxes and the guy down the street isn't, and he doesn't get punished, then I am just literally, I'm getting outcompeted. Their business or whatever keeps more of their profit than I do. It sucks. That's why it's annoying. I tried explaining the billionaire loophole to my mom and she goes, oh, well, they can do that because they're rich and so they should be able to. Your mom said, oh, well, they can do that because they're rich, so they should be able to? That was your mom's first response? It's actually so based. She's got opinions, you know what I'm saying? She sticks with it. She truly believes that Jeff Bezos should just have more. And that's something. She got surf energy. My brother just asked if taxes are this year. How old's your brother to be asking? They're every year, bro. That's every year. But yeah, I mean, like, unironically, what we really want out of taxes is simplicity, dude. The whole concept of a tax attorney should not exist. That is the fucking stupid part. The concept of having to hire someone to argue that you're not in violation of tax law, it should just be simple. Even if it's less, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's less or more, whatever. It just needs to be everyone the same rules. That'd be awesome. And also, we got to stop paying for every time America wants to incentivize something, we do it via tax credit. If it's like we want people to build more greenhouses, we give a tax credit. It's like, it's all these fucking weird loopholes and shit. I hate that shit. Just give the money direct. Take the money that we've collected and give some of it direct to whatever you want to incentivize. I think taxes are just needlessly complicated to the benefit of those that can afford tax preparation assistance. Lawyers. I heard, you know, honestly, good news, unironically, the government is, I think, in the final stages of making their own tax prep software, like TurboTax, that you can use to file for free. That's like auto-filled with your stuff. They're finally doing it. Like TurboTax has been fighting it tooth and nail for decades. I think it exists now, or it's about to come out. It'll be garbage. All right, have a little optimism. But the point is, like, it's gonna be something. I mean, the way they do it in, like, someone can correct me, but in like Nordic countries, don't they just send you your estimated bill and then you sign off on it? Like the government already knows. They just send what you're supposed to owe and then you decide. So it's like they reverse the work. Yeah, it's just like fucking way better system. It's like a way better automatic system rather than you having to fucking figure it out yourself, paying someone. Us Europeans just look at what the US does and then do the opposite. Oh, like win wars? Oh, like have a thriving tech sector? Okay, no, that makes sense. We legit seem to do the opposite. Yeah, I mean, in real life, that's not what Europe does. What Europe does is have it better at first and then look at America and see all the money they're making doing the bad thing and then slowly but surely go towards that. That's really what you do. If I'm being honest, you just do it delayed. You drag your feet a little bit, which is nice, good for your people, but like you get there. You're on your way. Big A, did you see the guy that lost 6 million on employee stock options over on WSB? No, can you link me? That'd be really funny to look at. This is the Wall Street Bets thread on let's never pay capital gains again. If you guys don't know, capital gains is what you pay in taxes on the difference between what you bought a stock at and what you sold it at. So if you buy a stock for $100 and you sell it for $200, you pay capital gains on the $100 difference. But however, if you lose money on a stock, you can deduct that from your capital gains. So let's say, for example, you buy a stock for $500 and it goes to zero. You can deduct that $500 loss. There's a limit. It's a $3,000 limit, I believe, at least in California. So let's say you lose $10,000 on stock. You can only deduct $3,000 of it that year, but you can carry over the other $7,000. So you can do $3,000 again and again and again. That's why this guy is saying, I'm never paying capital gains again, because he probably lost a fuck ton of money. I had a bunch of UPST from employee stock options. The company IPO'd and blew up. I was set for life if I sold, but I didn't. I was a few months away from hitting long-term cap gain and F taxes, right? So just hold a few months longer. So what this is, let's say you work for example, NVIDIA, and they give you 3,000 shares or something, okay? They give some amount of money, but they give it to you over every quarter. You get a little bit more of it. So they don't give it to you all at once. They give you, like, whatever you signed, they'll give you some of it. So when you get it, whenever you get a piece of it, you have to hold that for a full year to qualify for long-term capital gains, which is a random rule that rich people wrote that basically means if you hold a stock for more than a year, you pay less taxes on it when you sell it. It doesn't make any sense. It's the same, it's income either way. But if you hold a stock for 1 year and then you sell it, you don't pay normal taxes. You pay long-term capital gain taxes, which is 15%, way lower than what you normally pay. It doesn't matter how much you're selling, it's still only 15%. It was to fight the rise of day traders in the early 2000s. They have a lot of rationale, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, what it does is benefits the top 1% of people that own 90% of the stocks, okay? So anyway, this guy clearly has held his stock for 9 months or whatever. And if he holds it for 3 more months, he can sell it with less tax penalty. The first big drop, I shrugged it off. It dropped again. The market is wrong. They don't understand the long-term value. I've been there, brother. The investor's first panic response. They don't get it. They don't fucking understand, bro. This is cope. This is like pure copium, all right? It's not always untrue, but it's rare that you have figured it out. Do you know what I'm saying? The market is often irrational, but it's rare that you figure the true value. About this time, I owed taxes because there were ISO shares, and I was unfortunately exercised as the price was climbing, so I owe almost $1 million. So dumbass me, you paid taxes with margin. A few weeks away from cap gains, I've decided I've gone this far, let's hold. Bad idea. It falls another 50% in margin call. So he lost $6 million and possibly owes money? That's crazy. What's the stock in? UPST. Upstart Holdings. Yikes. You could have held right here, made a little bump. And this is why, though I didn't do this, I understand that it's the wise decision. If you work for a company that pays stock options bonuses, you're supposed to sell them as you receive them and just treat them like income. That's what you're supposed to do, because otherwise you're implicitly saying, I would buy this stock right here and I believe in it 100% to go up. You know what I'm saying? Think about it like this. Say you work at Google, okay? And you work at Google and they give you $50K in cash and $50K in stock. You should sell it and have a $100K salary. But if you don't, you're implicitly saying if they gave you $100K, you would take $50K of that and buy Google stock. That's what you're saying. They're flipping it around so you don't think about that, but that's what you're doing. And so you have to understand, like, that's risky, putting half your net worth in a stock. But if you held everything, you'd be balling hard. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I did. I out of laziness or, not fully understanding that rule yet, I didn't sell any Amazon from Twitch. I didn't sell any Nvidia until years later. And then it was very profitable, which was lucky, but easily could have gone a different way. Those companies happen to be tech companies that did well, but any other company you work for, it's a risk. You're taking a risk and you're very exposed. Like, for example, let's say you work for a company like Upstart here and things are going well and things are going up and you're like, this will never stop happening, and you don't sell. Then maybe the company crashes. Not only is half of your salary or whatever percentage was in stock options now nearly worthless, but you might get fired because the company that crashes their stock often fires people. So then you lose your job, your source of income, and your savings. Do you understand? That's the risky part. You're too overexposed to one stock. That's why generally you want to diversify. But again, as an insider of a company, you probably know better if things are going well. Would it be insider trading if you knew things are bad and you sold as soon as you got them? Yes. If you knew something the public didn't and sold on that, that would be insider trading. However, most companies, unless you're a fucking senior level executive, you're fine. At Twitch, I could have sold Amazon stock. No one thinks I knew anything about Amazon. And they have windows. So for the average employee, like if you're a CEO or a senior executive, there's very specific times you can sell. But like for an average employee, they're gonna have these windows based, like for example, when I worked on the 3080 launch for NVIDIA, I couldn't sell until it was announced. There was a blackout window until we announced the 3080. You're very unlikely to get in trouble, is what I'm saying. You can just sell if you think, unless you're a senator, then there's no such thing as insider trading. Exactly. Just become a senator and then it's all good. You're very unlikely to run into any insider trading issues if you just sell the company stock that you get as it comes in. It's Shrug. By that logic, if you know your company is doing well, is it insider information to buy? I mean, again, yes. Yes, theoretically, but it's much harder to prove, bro. It's just much harder to prove. If you work at a company and you buy their own stock, you can always just say, I believe in the company's mission. Like, It's very difficult. When our top executives like CEOs allowed to sell stock, generally CEOs can sell right after a earnings call. So they'll have these earnings calls where they explain everything about the financials, the market responds appropriately, and then they can sell so that people know exactly where the company's at. Do you reckon it's better to sell the stocks and buy ETFs like S&P 500? The default response that everyone tells you, and this is the generalized smart advice, and please do not let anything I ever say discourage you from doing this, because this is what everyone will tell you. It's a smart move, is to just dollar cost average into the S&P 500. just put it in. It buys a little piece of every stock. That's what you do. Okay? The only thing I will tell you, and this is not financial advice, and you should do what I just said, Vanguard, ETFs, that's the way to do it. The only thing I'll say is that I read some really smart people who are at the cutting edge of this stuff, and there's been research, and something that's in the book Problem of 12 that someone's gonna do a book report on, is that everybody took that advice. Every single person, a while ago that was considered contrarian. It was like, don't give your money to a hedge fund manager, don't give your money to a banker, just put it into an ETF and buy the market. Over time, over the past 30 years, every single person has done that. The number of people that are actually picking stocks anymore is very small. Most of the market is passive. And because of that, the dangerous rise of passive investing, all passive does, all an ETF does, all Vanguard does, is just buy what's already going up. If Nvidia is getting bigger, it buys more Nvidia. It's all market cap weighted. So if Nvidia is going up, they buy more Nvidia. If Tesla's going up, it buys more Tesla. It just buys more of the top of the market, basically. You're getting more and more concentrated into the top of the market. And that is partially the reason why, over the past couple of years, people have gotten into this buy the dip mentality, is because things always seem to trickle back up. And it's because if it's in the S&P 500, there is a multi-trillion-dollar business that will buy it without thinking. It'll just always buy. And it's bigger than everyone else combined. And the people that are writing about this are saying, well, okay, there's some danger in that. That like, wait a minute, once the market becomes so concentrated with passive, there's a real risk that it's buying a lot of things that are now well beyond their actual value. And if that ever gets corrected in any way, it's a massive quick correction. That's the scary thing. Again, I'm just speaking about new things that are at the cutting edge that I'm learning. I don't think you should change anything. Plan on that. I do not want to discourage anyone from dollar cost averaging in the S&P 500. I think it's still the smartest plan. I'm just telling you that that worries me, and I don't want to ignore it and not say it doesn't happen.